In the Imperial Palace on Terra, there are 20 pedestals for 20 sons of the Emperor, but 2 of them are empty. We know the traitor Primarchs, Horus, Engron, Fulgrim. We know their crimes, we know their names, but the second and the 11th Primarchs, they weren't just killed, they were unmade. This is the edict of obliteration. They should be as if they had never been. Even the traitor legions are remembered as villains, but the lost legions were erased so completely that even the broader Primarchs were forbidden from speaking their names. What crime could be possibly worse than the Horus Heresy? What secret was so dangerous that the Emperor himself deleted from history? Today, we are opening the Imperial records to try to find the truth. First, let's take a look at what we actually know, the hard facts. Before the heresy, there were 20 active legions, the 2nd and the 11th. We know they took part in the Great Crusade. We know they had Primarchs who were found, led their armies, and met their brothers. But roughly around 40 years before the heresy, they vanished. The silence is enforced by Malcador the Sigillite. In the novel The Chamber at the End of the Memory, Rogaldon actually recovers his memories of the 2 lost brothers, only to beg Malcador to take them away again. Dawn says that if the truth were to know, he would threaten the Imperium more than the traitors ever could. So, what happened? There are 3 main theories supported by the lore. Theory number 1. They weren't traitors. They were victims of a war the Imperium barely survived. In the lore, this is known as the Rangdan genocide. These weren't just standard campaigns. The Rangdan were a xeno species so powerful they broke the Northern Imperium. The archives state that the wars against them were so apocalyptic that entire legions were lost in the fighting. The timeline matches perfect. The Rangdan Wars happened right when the Lost Legion vanished. The theory suggests that one of the Lost Legion was the first line of defense, and they failed. But not just a military defeat. The Rangdan were known for parasitic mind control and genetic corruption. It is highly likely that the Lost Legion wasn't just killed, but infected. Imagine a legion of Astartes, including the Primarch, turned into puppets of four alien overlords. The Emperor couldn't save them. He had to purge them. This is supported by the fact that the Dark Angels and Lionel Johnson were finally called in to end the war. The First Legion was the Emperor's final sanction, equipped with the forbidden weaponry from the Dark Age of technology. The implication is clear. The Lost Legion failed to stop the threat, and the Lion was sent to bury their mistake, including the whole Legion with their Primarch. Theory number 2 is the one the characters in the books believe. Leman Russ killed them. Russ is the Emperor Executioner. In the novella of the Wolf King, just before the heresy, Russ admits that Astartes fighting Astartes is not a new thing for him. He hints heavily that he has done this work before. But there is a massive piece of evidence that connects this to the Ultramarines. Around the time the 2 legions vanished, the Ultramarines Legion suddenly swelled in numbers, becoming by far the largest legion. Does it look a coincidence to you? Let's have a look. A popular in-universe rumor, mentioned by the word bearers like Ardwell Tal, is that the Lost Legions were entirely destroyed. Instead, the innocent space marines from those legions were mind-wiped and absorbed into the Ultramarines. It explains why Guilliman's legions is so huge. However, Guilliman denies this, of course. But consider the tragedy. If this is true, thousands of Ultramarines fighting today might actually be the last sons of a dead father, unaware of their true heritage. If you want to uncover more secrets of Astartes, hit the subscribe button. We are hunting down every piece of lost lore. We covered the wars and the executions, the official theories. But before we get to the final one, the darkest piece of evidence, I want to give you 2 bonus theories. These are wildcards, the ones that sound crazy until you actually look at the evidence. If you are a long-time fan of the setting, these are specifically for you. First up, the theory that bridges the gap between universes. Many fans believe that one of the missing capsules was thrown through the warp and didn't land in the 40K universe at all. It landed in the world that was, the setting of Warhammer Fantasy. The theory is that Sigmar is actually a lost Primarch. Think about it. Sigma arrived in a twin-tailed comet, which looks suspiciously like an atmospheric entry of a Primarch drop pod. He unites the primitive tribes of men, just like the Emperor united Terra. He was a giant among mortals, immortal, and wielded an hammer, that mirrors the Emperor's own weapons. Later, in Age of Sigmar, he even creates the Stormcast Eternal, giant armored super soldiers who are essentially magical space marines. If Sigma was a Primarch lost to a different dimension, the Emperor would have no way to retrieve him. He is lost in the truest sense. For the second bonus theory, let's get political. Why were the Lost Legions erased while Traitor Legions were simply branded enemies? The traitors were monsters, but they still believed in war. This suggests that one of the Lost Primarchs committed the ultimate crime against the Emperor. He refused to fight. The Great Crusade was a genocide. It required the slaughter of a peaceful alien civilization. What if a Primarch, perhaps one with a highly empathetic nature, encountered a peaceful Xenos society and refused to destroy it? What if he put down his weapon and said, "No"? A traitor like Horus can be fought, but a Primarch who proves the Emperor is morally wrong? There is an ideological virus that could destroy the entire crusade. He had to be erased, so no other son would ever get the idea that peace was an option. But those are just theories. The final official theory 3 instead is a piece of evidence, is a fact. Okay, so finally we arrive at the most chilling theory of all. This isn't based on a 30-year-old lore or vague rumors. This comes from the bleeding edge of the Black Library, Dan Abnett's Backwing series. The story takes place in a city of dust, also known as Queen Mab. It is a place where reality is thin, a city of secrets hidden within a pocket dimension. Deep beneath this city lies a facility that technically shouldn't exist. It belongs to a figure known as the King in Yellow, a being of immense power who has been building an army in secret for thousands of years. When the protagonists breach this facility, they don't just find the weapons, they find a museum of the Emperor's discarded draft. They find a statues that are larger than they should be. They find warriors that they look like Custodes but feel wrong. They even find space marines with actual physical wings, likely prototypes of the Blood Angels but considered too mutated to serve. It becomes clear that this isn't just a prison, it's a collection, a library of genetic code that the Imperium tried to delete. And then they find it. Among the failed clones and twisted experiments, there is a bold label with a single designation, Subject 11. The 11, the sheer implication is terrifying. If the 11th Primarch was simply killed, his body would have been burned or buried on Terra. But Subject 11 implies that he's still a test subject. It implies that he wasn't executed for a crime, but contained because of what he was. Why keep him alive? The theory suggests that the 11th Primarch wasn't a traitor, but a breaker, a weapon so indiscriminate or a psychic presence so uncontrollable that he couldn't be a part of the Great Crusade. But the Emperor, being cold as it is, never throws away a tool. He locked the 11 away in stasis, perhaps as his final failsafe, a weapon to be unleashed only when the Imperium is truly on the brink of total annihilation. So, while we worry about the tyrannies or chaos, remember this. Deep beneath the city of dust, there is a sleeping demigod who has been waiting in the dark for 10,000 years, and he might be just waking up now. So which theory is true? The truth is, it's likely all of them and none of them. Games Workshop created the Lost Legion for a specific reason. You. They are blank slates. They exist so that you, the player, can create your own chapter, your own history, and your own secrets. They are the empty pages in the history book where we get to write our own stories. Within the lore, their absence serve a darker purpose. Some secrets are not meant to be uncovered. Some doors are locked for a reason. But I want to know what you think. Is the 11th Primarch waiting in the Trazyn Museum or in the Kings in Yellow's vault? Let me know your theories in the comments down below. And if you love 40k mysteries like I do, you need to watch this video next. We just talked about Primarch that was erased, but there is another entity that appears in the battlefield, saves the Blood Angels, and then it vanishes into the thin air. It's the Sanguinor. Click here to find out the truth, and I'll see you there. And as always, thank you for watching and subscribe if you care.